week with that, didn't we? What'd you say?
I had the prophecy lives, the prophet dies.
The prophecy lives.
And the prophet dies.
Ooh, the prophecy lives and the prophet dies. Oh man. See, y'all can do good stuff sometime, okay? I'm serious. I've heard women come up with outlines and I say, I'm going to preach that. I mean, it's just unbelievable. Dutch?
The consequences of not answering to God.
The consequences of not answering to God. That's there too, isn't it? And in two individuals in this chapter, isn't it? I just put, now see, my title's a little long. That's another thing. You try not to, you can make a title about 5 pages if you want to. But you try to make them short and sweet, but sometimes they're hard. I put this, the death of the man of God and Jeroboam's persistent rebellion. Okay, so there's really 2 sections here, and it's hard sometimes to, what Abby did was fantastic, wasn't it? Okay, disobey not, that, and she's talking to the young prophet and who? And Jeroboam, good stuff. I've got 5 points, here's mine. The death of the man of God. Number 2, the declaration to the old prophet. Number 3, the deposition of the young prophet, of the man of God. Number 4, the desire of the old prophet. And then lastly, the disobedience of Jeroboam. So there are my 5, and y'all have your 5. All right, let's go and let's answer some of these questions. What did the old prophet do for the man of God after he had eaten bread and after he had drunk? Yes, he saddled a donkey, did he not, on his behalf. And it came to pass, after he had eaten bread, and after he had drunk, that he saddled for him the ass, to wit, for the prophet whom he had brought back. Had a lot already gone on this particular occasion. Yes, the old prophet had gone to him, he'd lied to him, he brought him back to his house. The old prophet prophesies of the young prophet's death. All of that has already happened, hasn't it? We don't know the when and we don't know the how of the man of God's death. We just know that he's not going to be buried in the sepulchres of his fathers, is he? And so the young prophet sits there, he eats and he drinks and he disobeys God, and now it's time to what? It's time to go. He got that little guest in and got him out. That's what you do, don't you? You get your guests in, get them out just as quick as you can. And that's a minor lesson that you learn, okay? Dutch?
It's strange that here the old prophet, he gets smacked in the head, so to speak, by God, and is told, hey, what you just did, it's on the young prophet, but what you just did, you just sealed his fate.
Oh, yeah.
And the old man says, okay, saddles a donkey and sends the man happily on his way. Don't tell him, hey, you're not going home.
Well, he did. The old prophet had already told him that he's what? You're going to die somehow. Okay, you're going to be punished by death. But the old prophet didn't know when, and the old prophet didn't know how. He did not have that information at his disposal. And it very well may have been that the young prophet, after he got through eating and drinking, he thought, hey, I need to get home. I've got a wife, I've got a family, I'm not from here, I don't have a house here, I need to get back to Judah. And so the old man says what? Oh, I'll help you. Saddle him a donkey, boys. I've been thinking about these sons, okay? They're going to saddle 3 donkeys in this particular text. Did you know that? They saddled a donkey to go to him. He came back, they unsaddled a donkey. Then the man of God needs to go somewhere. They have to saddle a donkey, right? And in a few minutes, they're going to, guess what? Saddle another donkey. That poor old donkey's going to, when they see the boys coming, they're going, oh, you got to be kidding me. 3 trips in a day? Man, that's a lot. What met the man of God by the way and slew him? A lion. And when he was gone, a lion met him by the way and slew him, and his carcass was cast in the way. Now, see, this is things we don't do, okay, sometimes. And so I thought I would. A lion. Length. This is an adult male lion. Their length, 5.6 feet to 8.3 feet long. Long. Think about that, guys. Let me see. From that pew to right here, the length of that doesn't include the length of his tail. Okay? That's just the length of the lion. All right? Number 2, weight. 330 pounds to 570 pounds. Okay? He comes out of the woods, and you're on the donkey, and he launches into the air, you're gone. You are coming off the donkey. You know that? There ain't no, all he got to do is hit you broadside, doesn't he? Teeth. The canines, the long ones, 2.7 inches long. Okay? About that long? Okay, you got 4 of them. Okay? Mouth, 11-inch bite. Okay? 11, almost a foot. That's how big the bite is on an adult male lion. The bite, 600 pounds of pressure per square inch. 30 times stronger than a house cat. So if you've ever been bitten by your cat, okay, multiply it times 30, and you got a chomp, don't you? Now, it's not the most forceful chomps of all the chompers, okay? There's a lot of stronger ones, but guys, I don't know about you, I don't want 600 pounds of pressure being put on my body anywhere. Okay, especially with 4 big old canine teeth. They got really 3 sets of teeth in their mouth. Okay, 3 different kinds of teeth. And man, speed, and I don't know about you, donkeys don't go fast. Right? What do we sing on VBS? Ride a donkey, oh so slow, But even if you get that donkey going, a lion can charge at the speed of 50 miles an hour. Now, he can't do it long. Okay? It's got to be a straight shot. 50 miles an hour. That's moving, is it not? His roar can be heard 5 miles away. Man. We just think, okay, a lion got him. Yeah. Go to the zoo, jump in the cage, and feel what that prophet felt. Okay? That is one scary animal, is it not? I just put this down. Can you imagine being attacked by a lion and being mauled to death? The word mauled means to be treated harshly, to badly injure and damage. Anybody seen the movie The Revenant? Okay. Anybody seen that movie? What's the guy's name in that movie? Leo DiCaprio. He is attacked by a bear. And guys, let me tell you, twice. Not just once. That bear comes back. Go rent the movie. It's in the very first, probably 30 minutes of the movie. And watch the bear attack. And it is not pretty. Okay, it is not pretty. And when you see that, and you see the rage of a wild animal against a man, it'll help you understand a little bit about what would happen if a bear or a lion or a wolf attacked you and mauled you to death. It's not a pretty sight. Okay. Well, yeah, or an alligator. At least maybe he'd take me under and drown me, but oh, man. What 2 animals stood by the carcass of the man of God? Yes, the donkey and the lion. Now think about that. Here's this lion. He's attacked the man. He's killed the man. And then the donkey and the lion are just standing there looking at the carcass. Just standing there. It's crazy, isn't it? Who passed by and saw the carcass and the lion? Yes, it just says men, doesn't it? And behold, men passed by and saw the carcass cast in the way, the lion standing by the carcass. Who are these men? Me? No. The Bible doesn't say. They could be travelers, couldn't they? They could have been men who left the city and were returning. They'd gone out to work somewhere. They could have been some individuals who just like to go out and take a pleasurable walk. Have you ever gone out on a pleasurable walk and seen something not so pleasurable? Sometimes that happens, does it not? We don't know who they were. What did they do after they saw the carcass and the lion? And they came and they told it in the city where the old prophet dwelt. Where did he dwell? Verse 1 says he dwelled in Bethel, does it not? He dwelled in, I believe it's verse 1 said he dwelled in Bethel. Now, here's something that's interesting. These are just simple little points, okay? But what I love about it is this. These people that lived way back then are no different than us. You know what? You're walking into the city, you see this line, you see a donkey standing by the line, you see this dead man in the road, and what do? They go tell in the city. You know? If you are driving home and you see a wreck and you get home, what do? Hey guys, guess what I saw? I saw a wreck. I saw a bad wreck. Don't we? If we see a fire, man, did y'all see that fire? See that smoke of that fire? Okay? We got to tell the stuff that we see, don't we? There is no difference. And we need to, as we read the Bible, we need to remember all these lessons. There's no difference between those individuals and us. They were just human beings, and when they saw something, they had to tell it. We talk about traffic jams, we talk about seeing deer and bears, or whatever, do we not? And that's what they did. They immediately get in the city. Hey guys, guess what I just saw outside the city? I saw a dead man killed by a lion, and the lion was still there. And guess what? His donkey was standing right beside him. That's a tale. That is a tale, is it not? Now I put this, the story was interesting due to several points. Number one, the lion killed the man, but did not devour the body. Number two, the lion did not attack the donkey. And the donkey was just as vulnerable to this lion as the man was. Number three, the lion did not flee the scene. The criminal is still at the scene of the accident, isn't he? He's really not a criminal, is he? He's carrying out the judgment of God, isn't he? The lion and the donkey are standing there like best friends, mourning the prophet. I don't know that. I put in mourning, okay? I don't know that. These strange occurrences would prove that this was not just simple misfortune that came upon the prophet, but rather the hand of God was involved in this particular death. Okay? That's what you have.
I was just going to say the same thing, that it proved to be intervention because the donkey didn't take off as soon as the man got hit.
That donkey would have been gone. If he'd seen a lion, okay, he'd have made the lion run 50 miles an hour. Okay. Now, I was reading some commentaries, and I want you to listen to something, and the reason I bring this up is because when you're studying the biblical text, folks, it's good to read, other perspectives and different things, but sometimes you run across some crazy stuff, okay? And this comes from Clark's commentary on this particular verse. He says this about the prophet, okay, and I want you to listen close about what he says. He, the young prophet, committed the sin unto death. That is, such a sin as God will punish with the death of the body, while He extends mercy to the soul. Now I want you to think about that. Okay? The text don't say that. The text doesn't say that. That's what Clark says. Isn't it? Now see, sometimes these guys, they see something and then they have this knowledge of something in the New Testament, and guess what they have to do? They think they have to try to connect it somehow. Right? First of all, he takes John 5, verses 16 and 17, and it talks about the sin unto death. There is a sin unto death. He says, see there? This young prophet committed a sin unto death. And the death is what? The death of the physical body. But he also teaches the doctrine of once saved, always saved. Because what does he say? Even though the young prophet was killed by the lion, God extended mercy to his soul. How do you know that? This man is in bold rebellion against the Almighty God as a prophet, is he not? The very reason he was murdered or killed is because he had disobeyed God. Not everyone that saith to me, Lord, Lord, shall enter the kingdom of heaven, but he that doeth the will of my Father which is in heaven. This prophet hadn't done the will of God. Who is Clark to tell us this man was saved? See, he's assuming a lot of stuff. And you have to be when you read commentaries, this is one reason when I do my How to Study the Bible class, one of the things I want you to do first and foremost is learn how to study the Bible by yourself without picking up a commentary. Okay? That way you come to a knowledge of the text, then you can go and check the commentaries. Okay? And there's a lot of people who would read Clark and they would immediately just walk away and say, oh boy, guess what? That prophet sinned a sin unto death. He was killed, but guess what? God saved his soul still. But that's not in the text. That's an addition to the text. The text never says that. And we have to be very, very careful, do we not, about those kinds of things. I just thought it was an interesting point. Number 6, true or false? The old prophet immediately knew that this was the man of God. True. And when the prophet that brought him back from the way heard thereof, he said, it is the man of God. Man, can you imagine? You know, I've prophesied this man's death, right? And I don't know how long it took the man to ride down the road. Probably not too far. Okay, he got out of the city and out into the wilderness a little bit, 30 minutes, an hour, 2 hours maybe, and all of a sudden he's getting a message, the man of God is dead. Oh, that's pretty serious, isn't it? I don't know about you. That's pretty quick judgment. Isn't it? Very quick judgment. How did he describe the man of God? Yes, it is the man of God who is disobedient unto the word of the Lord. Man. Can you imagine on your tombstone? Here lies the man of God who is disobedient to the will of God. Unbelief. You know, first of all, it says, I'm a man of God, doesn't it? And then it says, I was a man of God who was what? Disobedient to God. Folks, children of God can disobey God. And God will punish that disobedience. I don't know where we ever got the idea that just because I become a Christian, God won't punish me if I transgress His law. We see it over and over and over, do we not? Ananias and Sapphira. Acts chapter 5, I guess they sinned the sin unto death too. Didn't they? It's unbelievable. I put this here.
Old man, how could that old prophet judge the young prophet when he was just as disobedient because he lied to the young prophet?
We do it all.
Awakening call and a slap in the head.
We do it all the time, though, don't we?
Yeah, but it should be also a awakening call to this man, and I think it was because he went and got that young prophet and buried him.
I ask this question. How many of us would be alive if a lion killed each person who is disobedient?
Amen.
You know? We wouldn't be assembled here, you know. We'd have to be meeting at the graveyard. You know what? Not a one of us would make it, would we? Wow. True or false? The old prophet affirmed that the young prophet's death was according to the word of the Lord. True. Therefore, the Lord had delivered him unto the lion, which hath torn him and slain him, according to the word of the Lord, which he spake to him. Man. His death, slain by a lion, was according to what? The word of the Lord. I put this question. Wasn't this extremely harsh punishment for eating and drinking in the city of Bethel? I'll guarantee you there's some of us in here done a lot worse. You know it? You done a lot worse than this prophet did. He just ate, he ate a little bread, he drank a little water in the city of Bethel, and he's dead. I've done some things a little worse than eat bread and drink water. You know that?
Well, look what happened to Moses when he did the wrong thing. He didn't get to go that far.
That's exactly right. And all he did was strike a rock. I wrote down a couple of things. It punished the disobedience of the young prophet. Okay? Folks, disobedience will be punished by God. Number 2, it confirmed the word of the Lord to the old prophet and to whom? To Jeroboam. I'll guarantee you, Jeroboam heard all about this. You know that? He's in the city, is he? That's why the man of God went. And he told Jeroboam, I can't eat here, I can't drink here, I'll be in violation of the word of God, I've got to go home, do I not? He'd already refused the invitation of Jeroboam, and now he's dead. And when Jeroboam hears about it, he says, wow, God's not kidding. It teaches all that sin can have horrible consequences in this life, not to mention in the life to come. One dose of a pill can bring death by fentanyl, can it not? A one-night stand can bring the conception of a child into the world. One act of extortion can cause one to lose a powerful, well-paying position in a corporation. Sometimes God focuses on a particular, and this is a man of God. This is a man who has a high-ranking position, okay, in the kingdom. He's a prophet. There were prophet, priests, and kings. All three were anointed positions in Israel. It's not a lowly position, okay? And God teaches a lesson, doesn't He? And He wants us to understand that lesson as a warning to us. What did the old prophet tell his sons to do for him? Wait, hang on a minute.
Back under that other thought, I can't understand how the young prophet, he received his punishment right away. But the old prophet didn't. I don't understand why one was almost immediate and the old prophet wasn't.
Well, here, I'm going to teach a lesson on this. I think either next Sunday or the next. Okay? And let me ask you this. If the old prophet never repented, will he be punished by God? Yes. Oh, yeah. He'll be punished. Okay? Now, how God works His plans and how God, it already appears this old prophet had already what? He'd already apostatized, right? The kingdom had split between Jeroboam and Rehoboam. Jeroboam had put a golden calf in the city of Bethel, and who's living there? The old prophet. He's already apostatized. Okay? He's already... Just that should have warned the young prophet, right? Oh, wait a minute. Where do you live? I live here in, Well, how'd you find out I was even at that sacrifice? Well, my son told me. I'm not paying attention to nothing you say. Okay, but he didn't, did he? Sometimes God uses evil men to work His plans, doesn't He? And what we need to understand is that even though God may do that, He will never forget that this is an evil man. And he will be punished. One of these days, he will be punished just as much as this man has been punished. Okay, God's righteous. And, who did God send to the northern kingdom to take them into captivity? Assyria, an evil nation. Terribly wicked nation. He didn't send a righteous nation to take them over. He sent an evil nation. Who did He send to take over the southern kingdom? Babylon. Evil nation. Folks, God can use some wicked men to carry out His will on this earth. And who am I to question God? Right? Knowing that one day God will what? Punish evil. I know that. Okay, Dutch.
Like in your lesson today, where Jesus talked about the son of perdition,
Oh yeah.
used to fulfill prophecy. We're taught as men that it is good to desire the office of elder, position of elder, but we're warned we will be judged twice because of that role and how we
Says,
Prophet was, as a minister also, you're born. People look at you for what you do.
yep,
God used it as a teachable moment. That old prophet could possibly be able to be turned around for what he's done.
possibly.
Jeroboam could possibly. He used it as a teachable moment. Here's a young prophet who was strong enough to say no, 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 no to Jeroboam, but believed the lie without checking it.
That's exactly right.
Last week we talked about that.
We can check the lies.
Here we are, and yeah, I question why, but yeah, it's a matter of God uses teachable moments, and it is better to lose one than 500, 1,000. So, who are we to question God? He's got a reason he did it, and that should be it.
Oh, absolutely.
Always ask him later.
You know, but think about this. Who's more wicked? A righteous man that turns from the grace of God, or a wicked man who's always been wicked? See? A righteous man who turns from his righteousness and goes into wickedness, his state is worse than the other man. Okay? Yeah, Babylon was wicked, but so was Israel for turning to idolatry and leaving God. Okay? And, how does God see that? These are my own children who sinned against me. All right, let's keep going or we'll never finish. We're not going to finish anyway. What did the old prophet tell his sons to do for him? Yes, saddle the donkey. Oh, Dad, just got that donkey unsaddled. Okay? I don't fear nearly as bad for the sons as I do the donkey, though. I hope it was a different donkey, don't y'all? Man. True or false? The sons of the prophet refused to obey their father? False. Now, I don't know how old these sons were. I just know this. There's 3 times so far in this text that we read that a father commands his children to do something and they do it. They went to the feast and they reported back to Dad. They were commanded to saddle a donkey and they did it. They commanded to saddle a donkey and they did it. Really, it's the 4th time, isn't it? And they were commanded to saddle a donkey and they did it. Children, obey your parents in the Lord, for this is right. Okay? And I doubt if these were 8, 9, 10-year-olds. Okay? I seriously doubt it. Told you we wouldn't finish. True or false? The old prophet found the carcass of the man of God. What 3 things are we told about the lion when the old prophet found the man of God's body? The lion and the ass were standing by the carcass. The lion had not eaten the carcass. The lion had not torn the donkey. Wow. True or false? The old prophet left the carcass of the man of God in the street. False. False. Now I want you to think about this. The lion allowed the old prophet to pick up the carcass and take it back to the city without attacking him. When he got there, he sees the same thing everybody else did. He walks right over, picks the lion just sitting there. Now, he hadn't been fed. He hadn't eaten the man. Who's involved in this, folks? God is, isn't he? When the man of God brought the body of the man of God back to the city, what 2 things were done? To mourn, to bury the man of God. Question, why would a person mourn a person who is little known to him and who has violated the will of God? Yeah, but why would you mourn him? I wouldn't mourn him. No, I would mourn him. Folks, death is always something to be mourned. And if a person dies in a lost condition, I should mourn even more. Should I not? Where did the old prophet bury the man of God? In his own grave. The old prophet had come to learn that this truly was what? This is truly a man of God. Isn't that something? He knew it beyond a shadow of a doubt. 2, he had told the young prophet that he would not come to the sepulcher of his fathers. Therefore, the old prophet honored him by placing him where? In his grave. Man, he didn't get to go where honor was. So the old prophet honors him by putting him in his own grave. He realized he was a true prophet. He just messed up, hadn't he? What words did he speak as he mourned for him? Alas, my brother. That little word alas, anybody look it up? What does it mean? Yes, expression means ooh, oh. It's just a sign of what? Doesn't mean whoa. It's ooh. It's like ah. It's just a sign of what? Just a sign of mourning. Ooh. Okay. So he's mourning on the prophet's behalf. Where did the old prophet tell his sons to bury him?
He was to lay next to the bones.
Yeah. You bury my bones by the bones of this man. And the question that I ask is, why? Why?
He wanted to be his family.
Was it out of respect? Or no, I put first of all, was it out of regret for lying to the old prophet, to the young prophet? Number two, was it out of respect for the young prophet? Was it due to the truthfulness of the man of God's message? Because he acknowledges that in the very next statement, does he not? For the saying which he cried by the word of the Lord against the altar in Bethel, against all the houses of the high places which are in the cities of Samaria, shall surely come to pass. This man's message was true. It was right. He was a man of God. And yes, he was disobedient, but I'm going to honor him. I don't know. After this, Jeroboam returned blank from his evil way. Return not from his evil way. Here's the lesson. There are some people you just cannot warn. Can't do it. I don't care how long you preach to them, how long you talk to them, how forceful you are, how hard the words are. You can't warn them. They are stubborn and they're rebellious, and Jeroboam was one of them. Jeroboam heard the young prophet's message. Jeroboam saw his hand withered. Jeroboam saw his hand restored. Jeroboam saw the altar rent and the ashes poured out. Jeroboam most likely heard of the prophet's death. Jeroboam probably heard of the action of the old prophet when he buried the young prophet. And the fact that the old prophet echoed the truth of the young prophet's message, and yet he turned not from his wicked way. Some people you can't warn, folks. What causes a person to refuse to humble himself and yield to the will of God? That's the question, isn't it? A person doesn't believe the consequences, or a person simply could care less about the consequences.
They hate themselves.
Man. What's interesting is said here, I want you to go look at the... man, I hate we don't have more time. Goodness. One of the things that's interesting is Jeroboam made himself a what? He made himself a priest. Unbelievable. Remember, he made priests of anybody. Anybody take the position, lowly people, nasty people. He just put them in, and guess what he did? He put himself as priest. I asked myself this question. I wonder what position in the priesthood he held. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. He's probably the high priest. That's exactly what I thought too. And this thing became a blank unto the house of Jeroboam. A sin, folks, a sin. Man. His house would be cut off and destroyed, would it not? All righty, thank you very much. I wish we had more time. Goodness.